Hey home people, this is Brett, and today I received another email from someone that sounds pretty desperate, and so I'm going to read you what they wrote to me, and I'll read you the simple replies. You know me, simple, back to basics. And so we'll see if this helps somebody, maybe. Hi Brett, I came across your videos by accident today. I think it may just be my answer. And I write, there's no such thing as an accident. You are the answer. I'm a 59-year-old female. In my youth, I was always very thin, painfully so, and was the brunt of people's jokes because of it. When I got married at the age of 18, I weighed 93 pounds. Even after my fourth child, I only weighed about 100 pounds. Today, I am weighing in at 175 pounds. I also am in need of a hip replacement due to a birth defect. I have been putting off that because of my finances, but I am paying in other ways as I am no longer able to be very active. I have the worst diet, very high in salt, fat, sugar, Cheetos, bacon, cheese. In my own mind, I feel like I can turn this around whenever I choose, but who am I kidding? I have no clue how to start. You know, with the internet and with all the various talk shows on television and books and iPads and all the information available to people today, you would think that somewhere along the line that they would get some information from creation if they had their ears, eyes, and senses open as to where they may be able to start. But I write, start watching my videos and learn the truths. Read Healing with Whole Foods by Paul Pitchford. Start eating only whole organic foods. Don't eat shitty foods anymore. And people, y'all know what shitty foods are, right? You know what the nasty, shitty, non-organic, processed, pesticide-ridden foods are. Poor quality, mass-produced foods. You know what those are. And I don't even have to tell you. You can read this book, or you can read 400,000 other books in these regards. You can go talk to a dietitian, for God's sakes. Even they'll give you basic information. They probably won't tell you to stop eating wheat, meat, and dairy like I do. Some of them will, some of them won't. Depends on how open they are to telling people the truth and how open the people that are receiving the answers are to the truth. But, and I write, start eating, don't eat shitty foods anymore. That is, if you actually deserve to consume quality fuel. I don't know, do you? Do you really deserve to eat healthy, whole foods or not? So this is a big question here. Do you or don't you? Some people don't deserve to eat quality foods. It's kind of like there's a whole lot of things in our lives that we have to ask, well, do we deserve to have this or do we deserve to have that? And if we don't deserve to have this or that, then what do we need to do so that we can feel as though we deserve that, and then we can give it to ourselves? Right? It's really kind of just black and white. And oftentimes we need to get emotional about things, but other times we need to kind of just look at things the way I mostly do, which is more of a kind of a black and white, yes or no, find the shade of gray if we need to way. the logical way. Remember Mr. Spock? Spock, live long and prosper. He would ask these things. He didn't have the ability to show emotions. But Mr. Spock could analyze things and determine the specific way to go. Kirk, he was emotional. McCoy was especially emotional. And Spock kept them in line when it came down to it. And he was able to just figure things out. And that's what oftentimes we need to do. We need to just kind of lay the shit out on the table and say, well, do we deserve to do this or that? Eat good quality food? Or do we not deserve to have quality fuel in our bodies? Do we deserve to take the time to prepare those foods? I'm working my ass off right now, and I guarantee you that I'm going to eat some quality food today. And I'm going to go out in the garden, and I'm going to get barefoot and connect to the earth, and I'm going to breathe deeply. I'm going to walk my dog, because I deserve all of it. Every freaking drop of it. And oftentimes, the only way we may be able to deserve things is if we've figured out how to have enough time to be able to do them. And that takes effort. A lot of effort, because you have to change your lifestyle around to be able to split that 24 hours up into doing things that are going to help you to live for a long and prosperous life. So figure out what you need, and then figure out what you really don't need, and then get rid of it. Get rid of it. You can do it. Sort it out. I am in so much pain, not only from my hip, but everywhere. So why don't you try rolling on the tennis ball? Now, you may have an inherent hip problem, or some other kind of an inherent problem, like maybe you've got a hunched back or a crooked neck from when you were born or something like that. But what I've learned as a massage therapist is that when we stretch our bodies and do self-massage, massage and yoga, and when we exercise and when we eat right, our bodies have a magical ability to adapt to their environment and to their circumstances, and just an ability to groove into a way where they don't hurt us anymore. But you have to make the effort so that everything can stretch and flex, and the nerves can get to where they're not being impinged and inflamed anymore. You're not trying for perfection. People will say to me, well, I was born with a crooked spine, and what I'd like you to do for me is can you tweak me? Can you do some Rolfing type work on me to get my spine straight and aligned, because I want a perfect spine? That's not legitimate. That's not a reasonable request. It's not going to happen. It's like me saying, yeah, I was born long and skinny. From the day I was born, I was long and skinny, and I would like to have a big, thick body and be a muscle builder. I'd like to be a weight builder. What do you call them? A bodybuilder. I don't even know what they are, let alone actually becoming one. But there's no way in hell that one of those guys can be near as nimble with the feel that I do. That's why I do massage, and that's why I freaking kick ass at it. Because I know what I do best. You figure out what your body and your mind and your emotions do best and that you love to do, and do those things, and it'll make you all happy inside. And then your immune system will function well. And you'll just kick ass. What more can I say? So don't try and be something that you're not and that you don't have the possibility of doing. Strive towards your dreams for sure, but don't be unrealistic about it. Be like Spock, logical. So if you need an operation, then do it. But until that time, then you've got to try and figure out ways to make yourself comfortable. So learn about the self-massage and watch my self-massage videos and check out all the tools. On my homepage, on the top, I put all, you can see little pictures of all the tools. The thumper or the soother tool, the Theracane, the foam roller, the brushes, the body brushes, the hair brushes, the face brushes, all the different tools. And use all of those things to release your body and to keep everything flowing, and then you'll feel more comfortable, at least until you may have to do an operation. I mean, if you do, you do. But so oftentimes it's unnecessary, and they're just trying to make a quick buck. And after the whole thing's over, you'll be wishing that you had done the real therapy. And the real therapy oftentimes is just taking the time to work on your own body. Do the work. My question is, can you just give me an idea where to start? And I write, breathe. Focus on the breath and watch my videos. Buy that book, Healing with Whole Foods by Paul Pitchford. Go outside and walk in the grass barefoot. Read Earthing and learn about barefoot walking and grounding to the earth. And check out the studies that they did on the benefits of grounding to the earth. There isn't hardly anybody, I don't care if you live out in the middle of the Hobby Desert, the Sahara Desert, or wherever it may be, you can ground. You can ground by just going outside, taking off your shoes, and digging them into the soil. Now you are healing. Now listen to the wind and the birds. It's free. It's free, and I'm giving you the info, but the hardest part is actually doing it. It's actually doing it. Yesterday I went to the park twice with the dog. The dog loves it. If you've got a dog, don't let it get the hip problems. That's caused mostly from inactivity. The dogs need to go out. You need to go out. You've certainly got a small park or a yard in your little tiny town out in the middle of freaking nowhere, right? So all you have to do is go out and do that. Even if, you may not have any organic food in the IGA store in your town. But you've got some grass, so do that. And do one thing at a time. Simple. I feel like I am slowly killing myself. Well, maybe that's because you don't care about yourself. You have to ask that question. Do I care about myself or not? Well, if you're slowly killing yourself, it may very well be because you don't care about yourself. It may be because you're just not using your head to consider the higher priorities. Okay, so maybe get yourself out a piece of paper and write down. Like, be really dead honest. Don't be livingly honest. Not dead, livingly honest. about what the most important things are in your life. Write down all the things that you spend time with. Maybe take a note throughout a day or two and write what you spent time with. And then you be honest with yourself and you say, is this really a high priority for good health? Is that a high priority? Write down the top 10 priorities that you think that you should be focusing on for your life, for your mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional health. And then change. Make the changes if you're worth it. If you're not worth it, I'm sorry. I can't convince you. Nobody can convince you that you're worth it to you. You and creation have to determine that. And so, I can see by your website you're very busy, enjoying your videos. Thanks for your time. Okay, so there you go. There you go. I don't know what else to say, but subscribe, and if you're worth it, keep watching my videos. If you're worth it, make the changes. Do it at a pace that you can handle. Remember that it takes years and years and years to see real progress usually. Depends on the person, you know. If they're not too deep in muck, then maybe some quick changes can be made and some easy results can be found. But the deeper you are in debt, the more chronic and long-term your problems have been, you need to expect that it's going to take time. And just go with it and know that even after this life is over, you're just reborn into another world. Maybe this one, maybe in 100 years or 1,000 years or whenever. Maybe you go to heaven for a while. But you have to keep progressing even after this life, and you take what you've gained out of this life on to the next one, whatever that may be. That's my opinion, because I think that it's just a progression. So don't worry about all that, because it ain't ever going to end.